So the JOIC course is the Joint Officer Induction Course, and it's the course where all of our NZDF officers start their lives in the military.
Army, Navy and Air Force coming together in a joint training environment to provide our new officers into the New Zealand Defence Force with those basic military skills that are required within our armed forces.
The purpose of JOIC course is to bring these young people through, take the skill sets that they've got already and just bring them to the next level so that they fit in line with the NZDF ethos and values. Get them networking with each other, so we create that Future 35 where all the Defence Force will be one, working as a maritime Defence Force.
Training's had a focus on, initially when we came into course, the strategy and the big questions of why in the Defence Force, such as military law, such as the direction we're taking, joint operational excellence, which is our vision. Then we moved into a lot more technical competencies, so drill, dress and bearing, marching, keeping our rooms squared away, eventually leading into getting out into the field, keeping our kit all squared away, and rifle competencies and turrets, which we were tested on how to fire a rifle and how to look after it.
At parts it was tough, other times it was easy. I think it changes from person to person. There's a good balance though, so we do a lot of theory stuff in the classroom, lots of lessons, but then we get to go and put it into practice, I guess.
The training has been quite intense, but intense in quite a good way. It's been a really enjoyable experience in the way that I've been kept on my toes and challenged all the way through, and for me that's been pretty awesome.
So the core skills the cadets and midshipmen will learn is how to be and how to operate in the military and in a military environment. So that's, again, working in close quarters with each other, working on their own, and working as part of a team.
They'll learn about themselves, they'll learn about our leadership model that we use in the Defence Force in terms of how we develop people and how we will be developing them as leaders. They'll learn about the law of armed conflict, they'll learn about the NZDF's military justice program. They'll learn all sorts of individual skills that they'll need in order to continue their learning throughout the Defence Force. So they'll learn about how to do navigation, they'll learn weapon skills, they'll learn individual fieldcraft skills and all of the other military basics like drill and how to live in the barracks and that sort of stuff.
Go!
For me personally, it was quite physically demanding. I knew coming into JOIC that I would need to be physically fit, and I had been preparing, but I think regardless of the preparation you've done, you'll still get a bit of a shock to the system. Whether it's a PT session where you are being pushed to your limits, or it's an outdoor field exercise, it's still very physically trying. So you do have to adjust. You will find that your body is changing and fluctuating in weight or muscle and things like that, so it has been physically demanding, and it's something you can look back on and be really proud of. You do see adjustments, you do see positive changes, so it's really great to see.
One of the most physically draining things is probably the lack of sleep. So getting up at 5:30 every morning and it doesn't stop until 10:30, you're going non-stop all day. And then lights out, next thing you know you're up at it again, 5:30. That's the fact that you don't stop is probably the most draining effect. You'll be sitting there in class and you'll see someone start to nod off and then they whip back up and they've started to fall asleep. And it's common throughout the course, everyone has it, but we learn to deal with it together and it's just another part of it. The course is mentally demanding in that there's a lot of information to retain. There's not so many tests, but there is a lot of things that you will need to remember.
For me, the resilience has been the biggest thing that's been tested in this course. So you might be going through an activity or an exercise, you might be hating it, but you just know that you have to get through it, and you really build on your capabilities and strengths and things, but you also really rely on your teammates as well. So for me, I've been able to get through those mentally challenging activities by relying on my teammates and all helping each other out. So it has been mentally demanding, but there are ways through it. And again, it's something you can look back on and be really proud of.
A typical day, you'd start off, you'd get up nice and early. Usually you sleep in your sports kit. You throw your shoes on, get outside, line up, and then you've got things called early morning activities. Those can be quite fun. So funny mind games, or sometimes it'd just be just a run around the block. From there you jump straight into cleaning your bed space, ironing your bed sheets. From there you go to breakfast, come back, clean the whole barracks till everything's sparkling. From there you go to lessons, Usually that would either be in the classroom or doing something like physical training. Then you have lunch, then you're back into more lessons, dinner, more cleaning, same sort of cleaning again, everything sparkling. Sometimes you'll have lessons later, or there'll be extra inspections, and then from there it's night routine. So that would be a typical day.
Right, dress!
My biggest challenge so far has probably been leaving home, straight out of school, so the lack of contact as well, so half an hour with our phones each week, that can be kind of difficult, just not being able to pick up the phone whenever you want and call your mate.
Some of the biggest challenges I face was just the self-confidence and putting your ideas out there to the group. Going through and reflecting on different things that we've done has been pretty good. Getting feedback from our peers helps to build you up and sharpen you up as well. That constructive criticism you get throughout the course really helps. But as long as you take it on board and use it, it helps you develop as a person.
So my biggest challenge would be adapting to the culture, meeting new people. It's actually my first time to here in New Zealand, so pretty much that. I think one of the most fascinating things is seeing how the culture is being adapted into the military life. We've been learning haka, so it's good.
Personal highlights would have been the weapons training, getting qualified with the Marzell, that was pretty awesome. And a lot of the practical stuff as well. Our longer stay exercise was awesome as well.
Some people got to ride in a NH90, one of the Air Force helicopters. You just don't get to do that anywhere else. That's one of the most beneficial things. It's just the experiences are insane.
On a broader level, probably just the friendships you make across the three services. You're not just limited to your Air Force friends or your Navy friends or your Army friends, but you're making those connections with people from all walks of life, all services, all trades. And we've become really close over the 6 weeks, so it's something you can rely on in the future. And I think you could walk into any mess or any New Zealand Defence Force base and probably recognise someone and have those connections and links, which is really cool. I'm looking forward to continuing those,
In terms of advice that I might give to a new officer cadet or a new midshipman who is coming to join the JOIC, it would be don't leave anything behind. It really is quite a short course, and it's the sort of course where we really want and we really need you to give it your all. Every bit of training that we do, it's really more beneficial for the individual if they put in that 100% effort and they really commit themselves, because they'll get more out of it. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit hard, sometimes you'll have that moment where you're struggling and it's hard to push that little bit further, but my advice would be, hey, crack on, it's a short race. The finish line will always be in sight, and don't give up till you get to the finish line.
Be ready. Take all the advice that is given to you and prepare yourself mentally and physically.
Take everything on the gear list. Like, people rock up without an iron. They don't have an iron. Just bring what you're told.
Do as much research as you can about all three different forces and get physically fit, because the fitter you are when you show up here, the more energy you're going to have to put into other things, like the mental side of things.
Dig deep and just keep going, because it will be hard and you will want to quit. Just don't. On the other side, it's fantastic.
This course is as tough as you make it. Have a bit of fun on it. It is a lot of fun when you get into it. You've got a team of like-minded, fantastic people who want to excel at their job here, and they want to network. You want to get to know, I'm from the Royal New Zealand Navy, I know people in the Army now and in the Royal New Zealand Air Force. They're mates of mine. We've had a lot of good times here. Enjoy it. It's a fantastic experience. It'll test you, but you can have a lot of fun.